Yes.
Okay. All right. Could you state your full name and date of birth for the record?
Sherry Lynn Palmerville, 4/12/55.
Thank you, ma'am. You are here to be arraigned. I will officially call the case here. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Sherry Lynn Palmerville. Case number 21-0161-FD. Attorney Rowe, if you could place your appearance on the record.
Your Honor, Austin R. Rowe making a limited appearance for Ms. Palmerville for purposes of arraignment. Ms. Palmerville and I have discussed her charges. She wants a reading of the charges. We've also discussed her rights. She waives advisement of the rights.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Okay, Ms. Palmerville, first thing we'll do here then is I'll go through, read the charges to you, make sure that you understand them and the maximum possible penalties. So it is alleged that on or about March 3rd, 2021, in Hayes Township, County of Clare, Michigan, under count number 1, operating while intoxicated, it's alleged that you did operate a vehicle upon East Town Line Lake Road, a highway, while having an alcohol content of 0.08 grams or more per 100 milliliters of blood, and under the influence of alcoholic liquor. That's contrary to Michigan law. It's a misdemeanor in the state of Michigan. It's punishable by 93 days in the county jail and or a $100 to $500 fine plus costs and or 360 hours of community service, rehabilitative programs, vehicle immobilization mandatory with a prior, costs of prosecution, and reimburse government for emergency response and expenses for prosecuting defendant. However, the prosecutor's office is putting you on notice that they're charging you as a third offense notice. So they've gone back, looked at your criminal and or driving history. They believe you have been previously convicted of operating while intoxicated type offenses on at least 2 prior occasions. Therefore, upon conviction, the defendant will be subject to an enhanced sentence under Michigan law and vehicle forfeiture also under Michigan law. That makes count number 1 a felony, punishable by a $500 to $5,000 fine plus costs and either 1 to 5 years in the state's prison or probation with 30 days to 1 year in the county jail, at least 48 hours to be served consecutively, and 60 to 180 days community service, rehabilitative programs, costs of prosecution, reimburse government for emergency response and expenses for prosecuting defendant, mandatory vehicle immobilization of not less than 1 year or more than 3 years. Ma'am, do you understand count number 1, the maximum possible penalty, with the third offense notice and the maximum possible penalty? Ms. Palmerville, do you understand count number 1 in the maximum possible penalty?
Yes.
Okay, do you understand the third offense notice in the maximum possible penalty?
Yes.
Okay, further alleged, same date, same location, operating license suspended, revoked, or denied. It's alleged that you did operate a motor vehicle upon East Town Line Lake Road, a highway. Well, her operator's license was suspended or revoked, contrary to Michigan law. That is a misdemeanor in the state of Michigan. It's punishable by 93 days in the county jail and or a $500 fine plus costs and vehicle immobilization. Ma'am, do you understand count number 2 in the maximum possible penalty?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Rowe, you said you did discuss Ms. Palmerville's rights with her and she's waiving a reading of the rights.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, Ms. Palmerville, the next thing we need to discuss then is your right to an attorney. You can always retain your own attorney, ask the court to appoint one for you, or represent yourself. How would you like to proceed as far as attorneys concerned?
I want an attorney.
Okay, a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
Okay, I have reviewed your request for court-appointed attorney form. I am going to find you eligible. I'm signing the form right now. One will be appointed to you here momentarily. Your case will proceed on to a probable cause conference and a preliminary examination. We will send over notification of those court dates. It looks like you do have a phone number on your request for court-appointed attorney form. Do you want me to add an email address as well, or just the phone?
Just the phone.
Okay, and did you have an attorney Moore represent you on a prior case?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Okay. Okay, we will send over a copy of your request for court-appointed attorney form. If you're able to post your bond, I would suggest you give your call an attorney or your attorney in a call in probably about 3 days or so, or you can call them immediately when you get out. They may or may not have the paperwork yet, but I'd get a hold of them pretty quickly so you can get on the same page with your attorney. But that would take us to bond Mr. Rowe.
Your Honor, Ms. Palmerville asked for a personal recognizance bond or a bond no higher than $5,000, 10%. Ms. Palmerville has lived in Clare County for 30 years. She owns a house in Clare County. She's currently retired. She has a son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandchildren who live in Clare County. She says that she's never missed a court hearing before. And furthermore, there's a COVID-19 virus concern in the Clare County Jail. And finally, Ms. Palmerville is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So for those reasons, she's asking the court to set her bond as a personal recognizance bond or a bond no higher than $5,000, 10%.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe. Ms. Palmerville, you will receive a copy of this bond form. Make sure that you read through it and that you understand it. You will be subject to all of the normal bond conditions. In addition to that, based on what you're charged with, you cannot use alcohol, marijuana, or any other illegal controlled substances. You must participate in a substance abuse testing or monitoring program. Specifically, that is color code alcohol testing. You need to be signed up for that within 24 hours of your release and provide proof to the court that you are complying with testing protocol. Do you have any questions about those conditions?
No, I don't.
Okay, I have to take a lot of different things into account when setting a bond. Prior criminal history is one of them. Everything stated on the record by Attorney Rowe. What's alleged in the underlying offense. Also, the prosecutor's office has submitted a bond recommendation in this case. They do have listed prior criminal history of 2 misdemeanors, that you are not currently on probation, no assaultive history, no outstanding warrants, no failure to appear. They are requesting an $8,000 cash surety, 10% bond. Ma'am, I guess I just have to tell you here, that's a very reasonable bond request in your case. I mean, you don't have other prior criminal history other than the OWI type offenses, but you do have 2 of those. Generally, on an OWI third offense notice, the bond's generally about $50,000 or higher. You don't have a lot of other criminal history, so I'm not going to put the bond that high. I'll put it at what the prosecutor's office is recommending. I know that's a little bit higher than what you've asked for here today, but again, on an OWI third, with your last one alleged to be in 2019, it's a very reasonable request. So bond will be set at $8,000 cash surety or 10%. You do have the option to go through a surety company if you can't come up with the $800 cash. The corrections staff would allow you to make those phone calls. If you cannot post your bond, your attorney will have contact with you within 3 business days, and they can make motions on your behalf. But ma'am, do you have any questions about that?
No, is that to take place today?
Yeah, your bond is going to be set right now. So if you can come up with that amount, you'll be able to post it immediately, and then they just have to process you out of the jail, and they'll let you make some phone calls to some bond companies if you need to, probably just shortly here.
Okay.
Okay, Attorney Rowe, anything further for the record?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Palmerville, if you take a step outside that room, they'll know you're done and they'll bring the next person in. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rowe, they do. I think they just brought the paperwork on the third one into the office too. So I'll email that one to you probably while you're meeting with Mr. Lowe, and we should be able to go right into that one and then be done.
I gotta be over at Circuit Court at 10:30, so.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So we'll have it all set up for you. I'll still email it to you right now, and then as soon as you're done with circuit, if you want to just give me a call and we'll go into it and take care of it if that works for you.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.